Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread! Cornbread! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
Now, two pigeons bemoaning the fact you can stream DirecTV satellite-free.
These humans can stream all the top-rated national news channels on DirecTV, and now with no satellite dish.
This just in. Weather, sports, election coverage. DirecTV has it all, but something is missing. The satellite dish.
What are you doing?
I'm reporting the news. Back to you, Bob.
Here's some news. You're a buffoon.
Stream the top-rated national news channels. No satellite dish. Visit DirecTV.com. Internet required. Top-rated news based on 2023 Nielsen ratings.
Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers, what's going on, everybody? You guys know what it is. It's your host, Eric Oakley, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, talking about those Lions. Talking about those Detroit Lions. And all I got to say off the top is easy dub. I mean, was that easy in Minnesota or what? Did we just not absolutely embarrass the Vikings? Did we just not take it to them? Was that just not a straight up easy dub? Okay, maybe it wasn't as easy as me and Chops hyped up last week, but still, like, I look at that football game and I'm just like, man, you know, you go down 10-zip. Next thing you know, it's 21-10 Lions. You know, guys making plays all over the field. Kind of think we're going to just walk through this one. You have a late, unfortunate play by Jamo. And the other team got a faux show. And that put us down on the scoreboard. We come back last minute. Jake Bates, 44-yarder, ball game. So I'll give you some more thoughts on that. I got news and notes. After the commercial break, I want to spend time on MAXX Crosby. I want to talk about a couple things I talked about a week or two ago when I said trades, no trade, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about, you know, why this player makes so much sense and if the Lions could do it, you know. So I'll spend a little time on that because I know that's everyone's dream. And then I got to preview the Tennessee Titans coming into Ford Field. Oh, baby, that should be a fun one for the Lions.
Oh, baby!
Let me just go back to this Minnesota game. So the Lions travel to Minnesota. You know, their fans start trying this skull clap and, oh, you know, we're undefeated. And, you know, the Lions fans showed up like they always do. And, yeah, I was a little disappointed early in the football game that we actually let them get a couple scores and kind of weren't doing anything offensively. But, you know, before I knew it, I looked up and I saw the multi-dimensional, positionless. Wait for it, wait for it. I'm going to make you wait a little longer. Elite weapon. Number 26, Jahmyr Gibbs. Just absolutely, you go and watch this replay. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, when he comes on the interviews or the post game, oh, I got to give all the credit to the offensive line and my blockers. Yeah, okay, that's great. You know, the dude's, he's such a humble guy, and he's also, if you noticed in the post game where Dan freaking Campbell gave him a game ball, you could hear his voice cracking. He's just one of these quiet guys that doesn't like to talk in big groups and doesn't want to talk about himself. I don't know, kind of like me. But he gives all the credit to everybody else, but you go back and watch the replay. This is all Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, like, I don't even know how to break it down for you. He's so fast that he just basically splits the outside defensive end and the interior player that both probably should have had a play on the running back. When he gets to that first line of defense, he gets to the second level so dang quick that, like, he doesn't even give Penn a chance to make a block downfield. He gets one-on-one with, who is that, the corner, the safety, it doesn't matter. And he absolutely okey-doked him, put him in the ground with the stanky leg, the dag leg, the whoopsie fake, the hujjamadilla. I mean, just absolutely gave it to the guy. And then goes straight to the dang end zone. I mean, Dan Miller absolutely loved it, and so did I.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Exactly, Dan. I mean, this was a house call we had all been waiting for. It was an absolute shake and bake, which was incredible to see from Jahmyr Gibbs. And I basically think it was elite, if you ask me. So that was incredible. I mean, do I have to say anything else except for that I had to say this in person, on my text messages, on my Twitter feed a bunch of times during this football game, and that was my boy, Brian Branch. Number 32, just, I mean, what is this guy, what can't he do? He's picking balls off horizontally in the air. He's making it look easy. He's out there getting fumbles and house calling it, and they're bringing it back. He's getting PBUs. He's blitzing, creating havoc in the backfield. I mean, this guy was all over the football field. I'm going crazy. I'm telling everybody, man, this is a my boy Brian Branch game, and as well as the multi-dimensional positionless elite weapon type ball game. So I absolutely loved it from top to bottom. And you know, I'm not going to beat up our defense. Oh, we didn't get much pressure. We better go do this. The defense was fine. You know what I mean? What did I predict? 30-4, 20-4. Instead, you know, gave up a little more points, got a few less points. Jared Goff was absolutely incredible, and I do the gimmick where I come on here and I make fun of his wobbly spirals, which is true, by the way. I also always rag on Jared Goff because it's fun to get at Chops in the D, my buddy who comes on the show here a lot, all riled up. That's entertaining and fun for me, and I know that other people like it as well. I know that the people enjoy that very much.
And the people consist of the millions.
Exactly, the millions Kool-Aid drinkers. So I do that part gimmick, part truth. But I had to go on Twitter. I had to tweet out that Jared Goff is in a zone. He's in a bleeping zone. I mean, straight up, white men can't jump. You remember that scene where he just gets in the zone, starts talking trash, nobody can guard him. His, you know, compadre, his teammate there gets all upset at him. He's, I'm in a zone. They're pissed off and I'm in a zone. I could probably recite that whole, 30-minute segment to you. I watched that movie so many times. I'm not even a movie guy, but White Men Can't Jump has so many good one-liners, so many good scenes. Billy Ho. Just incredible, as well as Sidney Dean. I mean, don't even get me started on that. But Jared Goff is in a bleeping zone, okay? He is throwing dimes. He is putting the ball on people. It's my favorite thing about him is his accuracy. I also love that he can just absolutely run our entire playbook with his eyes closed. He's shown great leadership, even though I don't see him as some ultimate alpha that is going to demand the highest from everybody around him. They follow him. He leads his own way, and the guy makes plays. And my favorite thing is when something's open or when he diagnoses something, he puts the ball on people. He doesn't throw it 5-10 yards over. He doesn't put his hands on his helmet because he threw it in the ground or makes his guy jump and fall to the ground. I don't know, like a former quarterback in this town always seemed to do. Jared Goff just puts the ball right on people's numbers, hits them right in stride, and then they either score touchdowns, get first downs, or even better than that. I mean, he's done it consistently now, year after year after year. Like, you cannot argue with these numbers. Just he's creating 3 out of the last 4 games, first halves. He hasn't had any completion. I know some of that is thanks to, Ben Genius.
Ben Johnson, I love you. Ben Johnson, you are my hero.
Both of those comments are still true, but it's like, I don't care what you scheme up, what you coach up. The fact that this guy is dotting people, not putting the ball on the ground, not throwing it to the other team, not turning it over, scoring touchdowns, making impact plays, diagnosing defenses, running everything under the sun, doing trick plays, catching touchdowns. You got to give the man his love. He's been absolutely incredible time and time again. I can't hate on him for much. I'll nitpick some things next time at Chops and the D is on the show and he's going on and on about, oh, Okri, how about we talk about Jared Goff?
Woo! Hashtag Choppy Liking.
Probably say something, it sounds something like that. I mean, before you know it, I'll try to talk and he'll say something like
I don't want your bula support when it comes to Jared Goff. You don't get to join the Goff train. You're off, bro. You're off.
I mean, he's hashtagging Goff train, hashtag what Choppy said, hashtag market. Okay, we get it. The quarterback's good. I'm giving him his love here on the show. So Jared Goff was incredible again. I don't know what happened when D-Money fumbled the football and they scored a touchdown, because I know my man D-Mo would never do anything like that. D-Mo. All he does is score touchdowns, faux show, another sco, got a little more dough, let's go. But D-Money had the butter sticks there, almost cost us the game, also came up with an injury. I still love D-Mo, but this D-Money character, I don't know. I didn't really like that in this football game, but Gibbs was incredible. St. Brown, again. I don't even talk about Amon-Ra on this pod very much, unless I'm doing the gimmick, because he's just so damn good. The guy gets 8 for 120 in a tug, and I'm like, don't even notice it. I'm like, did St. Brown have a good game? I didn't even realize. 8 for 120 and touchdown. Okay. Just another day at the office for number 14. Like, he's incredible. And this team, I'm telling you, I'll get to it after the break, but this team can beat you by putting up 40, 50. This team now is grimy on defense. This team can out-scheme you. This team is not scared to do anything and everything on the football field when it comes to play calling, how their guys play, the grit, the hustle, blocking downfield. This team can do it all, and it's clear that they're probably, I don't want to say probably, right now, the Detroit Lions, when people say, how about those Lions? Yeah. The Detroit Lions are the best team in all of football right now. And that's without Aiden Hutchinson. I'm aware he's not playing. I'm aware that we can't unleash Hutch for the entire year.
Unleash Hutch.
We're still the best team in the game. So This was a great win on the road at the end. You know what was even better is when this team continues to do this time and time again. Win games late, play good football, pull out trick plays, don't play scared, play aggressive, make plays. You're looking at the scoreboard, even when, D Monty puts it on the ground, they score. It's like, we're okay. And then they get the ball back and they go 3 and out and they punt. We're like, we're still all right. We'll find a way. Get a 3 and out, get the football back. Our ball on the 30 with minute and a half left, somewhere in that range. Got a couple timeouts, whatever it is. Everybody that has watched this team and isn't the old Eeyore, 10 years ago this happened. I remember when I was a season ticket holder for 50 years and they'd always lose these times. All the people that aren't those people are just like positive Detroit Koolaid drinkers, double-sided cornbread, are like, we're going to go win this football game. And what do? Throw to Jahmyr Gibbs. Run it to the elite weapon. I think it was the other way around. Run and the pass, but you get my point. And then they just dot a ball. I couldn't even believe they threw it to ARSB. Just an absolute man throw again by Jared Goff. An absolute incredible catch by St. Brown. 2 guys right around him. Absolutely makes an incredible play to get him in much better field goal range. Another first down. I mean, that's worthy of stash in the ATL. Announcing that one like Dan Miller would.
I'm a run.
Thanks, Stash. That was incredible play call, incredible execution, and just a great go get it with 2 guys around you. There's no, it bounces off my hands and they pick it and we lose the game. It's not, why are we throwing it? Just run it in a cloud of dust and hope our guy can hit a 55-yarder. No. They knew they needed some more yards. They went and got it. And then what did Dan freaking Campbell do? He just sat on the football, centered it for his guy, and said, I believe in Jake Bates. We brought him here for a reason. I see him every day in practice. I'm not going to listen to the great Natalie Sparbeck that tried to run Jake Bates out of town because he missed a couple field goals on a late Wednesday afternoon in training camp. I believe in this guy. I see him every day booming kicks, making kicks, being under pressure. Doing his thing. I'm going to give him his chance. And what does Jake Bates do? Just walks out there and pipes one right down the middle to win the football game. I mean, Dan Campbell was fired up. You guys all heard the post game. Give the man his ball. Give him his ball. Just a heck of a play by Jake Bates. A big leg kicker, young cat, and a guy that doesn't seem scared by the moment. Is he going to miss a couple? Is he going to frustrate you with a missed extra point every now and again? I guess, but is he well worth the squeeze when it comes to place kickers? All you guys that want to put a big resource, you want some 40-year-old vet kicker just because he did it 10 years ago? No. The Detroit Lions regime, Brad, always open for business, Holmes, and Dan freaking Campbell, are like, no, we want this guy with the 65-yard leg that's young, that's on a 2-year deal, making peanuts, and that we know can do the job because we barely going to kick anyway unless we need a 44-yarder to win the football game, and then we'll go do so. So, I loved it. I love the ending. SVSU product, Trevor Nowaski, shout out with the big sack to end it. And we walk out of Mini with their whole undefeated skull clap. Look at us. Sam Darnold is revitalized, blah, blah, blah. We walk in there, don't even have our best day at the office. A couple of our ball players show up. And we walk out of there with a nice comeback dub at the buzzer to not only take control of the NFC North, which you know we're kings of the North anyway, but to take the number 1 seed in the NFC. We might even be the top seed in all of football. I don't even know. I think it's like the NFC for sure. Because you know why? Because all roads go through Detroit, right? Sheila Hamp. Isn't that what you said? Isn't that what's going to happen? Isn't that what I said last year? That if all those games are in Ford Field, which it should have been if we weren't screwed in Dallas, that we would be walking the Super Bowl and we would have beat the piss out of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. That's what would have happened. And if all goes well this year, especially if we get into what I'll get to after the break, if that happens, we're going to be the number 1 seed. We're going to be the number 1 seed of all of football. We're going to have home field throughout. We're going to run through the playoffs. Ford Field's going to be an absolute lion's den, just madhouse. and we're going to go to the Super Bowl, and we're going to win the damn thing. So there you go. What an incredible win. Easy dub in Minnesota. I loved every bit of it. If you want more of that craziness, as well as you like this show, hit that subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter at Derek Oakery. And before I get to my commercial break, I got to talk some news and notes. And unfortunately, my news and notes have to start with Jamo. I got to get to this hashtag Jamo fast because I don't want to spend much time on it, because Jameson Williams got another 2-game suspension for some type of performance-enhancing substance that he was caught with, used, whatever you want to say. I have no idea what this was. You know how the NFL is. They're very vague. They don't want to say, but they want to take this kid off the field. And for me, it's like, yes, Jamo should know better. Yes, the Lions, if they didn't work with him tight enough and are just letting him do whatever he wants, they need to tighten that up. This is too many times now that this continues to happen. And I'm disappointed, you know? Your parents, you know, if your guys are parents, you always say that to your kids, oh, I'm not upset, I'm just disappointed. I'm not upset with Jameson Williams. He showed me he can play ball. He can be the type of player I want. Did I like that he caught one ball for -4 in this big game against Minnesota? No. But I do love he blocks. He's got elite speed. He can run all over the football field. He's got swag. He's a fun, good kid. But yeah, I'm disappointed that you're missing more football games. You've had a injury, a suspension, more injuries, now another suspension. You've balled out for 8-10 games out of 3 years here with the Lions. Like, it's just disappointing. And okay, he had a nice quote saying he'll take it on the chin, can't wait to be back with his guys. I get it. Well, stop being away from your guys. Stop doing dumb stuff or not knowing what you're doing until it's too late. And then you find out you broke a rule for gambling or you took something you shouldn't have taken. And a lot of the people, I love Jamo more than anybody. You know, we were repping him on draft day. I said that would have been my pick if I was Brad, always for Business Homes. He heard the audio. He took the card to the podium and took Jameson Williams. But, like, you know, there's only so many times you can, like, defend or make excuses for this guy. And since sometimes you're like, man, I'm disappointed in you, man. I need more from you. I need more production on a real consistent level. I need you to be a WR1, top WR2 type of player if we're ever going to pay you and keep you here. And instead you keep missing games due to injury, suspension, and stupidity. And then you come out and you ball and everyone loves you. So it's like, yeah, it's very disappointing. I hope he gets back, stays healthy the rest of the year, absolutely plays great football, and put all this behind us. Trade, rumor, innuendo. I mean, you guys have heard all types of names for the Lions. I think there's a lot to it. I do. I think that Dan Freaky Campbell said on 97.1 in his morning interview that he knows Brad Holmes is grinding on trades. He waits until Brad Holmes says, hey, I got this cooking. Like, can you give me the thumbs up or down on this guy? They asked him, has Dan Freaky Campbell been asked to look at anybody or to evaluate anything? He said, yes, he has. He said maybe a couple different things. So they're definitely doing that due diligence, but putting in that work. And they always are. You know, this isn't like, oh, Aiden Hutchinson's hurt. Let me wake up and go, you know, scour the bowling alley to see who's out there, or go call a bunch of teams like Howie Roseman does 24/7, 365. No, Brad Holmes always knows what he wants to do and who's out there. But yeah, he needs to be more aggressive because this team, as I continually said on this pod, is Super Bowl quality and is ready to go. So, you know, I'm not going to get into all the rumor and innuendo. I'm just going to leave it at, you know, they're looking at pass rushers. But that's the only thing everyone's focused on. And I could see them adding one or two guys at other spots where they just think, I mean, I wouldn't put it past this regime to add a top-end offensive player and just go crazy offensively and beat you that way. You know, everyone's like, oh, they ought to get a pass rusher. They got to. And then they just go like receiver, tight end, another big old line, whatever. And they just do it that way. I mean, I could totally see that. So don't put that past. But there's going to be a lot of things said, a lot of fans talking about a lot of different people. You know, 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, something will happen. and I hope what happens is what I'm about to talk to you about after the break. And, you know, in regards to injuries, like to me, it was just the D-Money. D-Money came up with a ankle, knee, whatever it was. He left the game. He came back in the game. Hey, here's a quick side tangent. I literally have on the background, I'm trying to have the Wings game in the background, and they just switched to FanDuel, Sports Detroit, whatever. The entire time I've been on this new quote-unquote channel run by FanDuel, all it keeps doing is buffering. I went to ESPN for 30 minutes, nothing, no buff, no issues. So it's like, I got real issues already with FanDuel Sports Detroit. Get your together and start getting a feed that works. I'm not trying to watch our Detroit sports teams and have it black out every 5 seconds because you guys don't know what you're doing. Bally Sports was horrible enough. You guys have buckets and buckets of money. How about you get an app and get a TV service here that works? Here we go again. Circle of Death. Circle of Death. Only on this channel. Oh, wait. Your video is still loading. Thank you for your patience. Absolutely garbage already. Just like when Bally came out and their app didn't work, you couldn't watch the games, you're still paying for the service, and they just never could get it to work. Like, is this your first day at the job, you streaming people? This is embarrassing if I was them. Anyway, that's a side tangent. D-Money, I think he'll be okay. He was hurt, he came back. Of course, he had the fumble, he's disappointed himself, I get it, but he should be fine from a health perspective. I didn't know a ton more other injuries. I noticed my boy Josh Pascal went out of the game like at least twice and came back. And I think I heard his snap count was like, he was only out like 8 snaps the whole game, even though he got hurt twice. So he absolutely dogged his way through, played a nice football game from what I could tell. So other than that, nothing major that I noticed, but which is always good. Anytime you get out of the game without your big dogs really getting hurt, that's a great thing for the team. Let's go. I really meant to keep this show like, you know, I was going to go for anywhere from 25 to 35 right in that sweet spot. I think I did 20, 25 plus here in the first segment. If you couldn't tell, I was a little bit fired up. I'm solo. I got the mic. I'm excited about these Lions. I'm giving you takes. I'm trying to entertain you with a couple sound bits here and there. So I hope all you loyal Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers are out there listening, enjoying this. Drink it in, everybody.
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Gotta make it a double.
Cornbread!
And while you're eating the cornbread, drinking that Detroit Kool-Aid, please listen to all our sponsors. That really helps out the show. As I've said before, as long as you fast forward through our ads, I believe that helps us just as much. But if you go visit them, if you go retweet our show, if you tell all your friends that are listening to all those other garbage shows out there, shows that put you to sleep, like, hey, go check out this show. They're actually like, try to be fun, talk about the Lions. They're positive. They play sound bits. They love old school wrestling. They like to do gimmicks. And they talk about the Lions and how they're going to win the Super Bowl. So spread the word, please. We love it when people new check out the show. Give us that subscribe. Give us a like. Give us a follow. All that good stuff. Again, I'm at Derek Okrie on Twitter. That's DEREK OKRIE. I'm out of breath. If you haven't noticed on my solo shows, I don't do the Jim Rome where I take like a 3-minute break in between everything I said. I love Jim Rome, but I'm like the antithesis of him when I get on the mic. He like says something, pauses for 30 seconds, and talks again. I talk for 30 plus minutes with no breaks, no pauses. Don't even take a breath. I just roll, and that's what I do. So everybody, I'm going to take a couple breaths during this commercial break while you listen to our great sponsors. And then I'm coming back to talk about MAXX, Max Crosby, why he should and will be a Detroit Lion, along with Titans preview. We're just going to absolutely obliterate this team, and I'm going to give you the reasons why and clown them because they deserve to be clowned. Everybody, I'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Kool-Aid drinkers, I'm back from the break. Thank you so much for listening to the sponsors, checking out the show, helping out the show, sharing the show, hitting me up on the old Twitter machine. All that stuff is greatly appreciated, as well as helps us keep this thing rolling, keep the lights on, have a bunch of fun. Thanks to the millions and millions. Been doing this for 5, 6 years, however long it's been. Never miss a week, never miss a show, always try to entertain, and also just love talking ball. So appreciate everybody, appreciate all my co-hosts, all the guests we've had on and will have on in the future, as well as appreciate the Lions for putting together a good football team finally, that I don't have to come on here and complain and do all this revisionist history. We just get to talk about easy dubs and great football players, and it's a good time. It's definitely a good time. So let's get into MAXX Crosby, because I came on a week or two ago and I was like, before we talk about MAXX Crosby and all these crazy trades, let's look at what draft picks are worth in the National Football League. And I ran down that like a first round pick, even if it's in the late 20s, is like 4 years, that 5th year option for like a total of what? You get them for 4 years at like less than $20 million in total. Something crazy like that. I'm just throwing out ballpark numbers. I don't have it up in front of me, but a second round pick, even though it's late in the second round, is like a guaranteed 4-year cost control deal for what? A total of like $8 million or less in total for 4 years. Do the math. It's like anywhere from 1 to 3, 4 million per is what I threw it out on an average. Of course, those guys can ball out, and then you pay them buco bucks. I get it, but for those first little bit, that's why they're so valuable, and that's why Brad, always open for business homes, has been killing it in the draft. We have a young, dynamic football team that's pretty much cost controlled, and now we've been able to pay all those people because he has the same thing around him. Lots of great picks, under the radar signings, undrafted cats, so he's able to keep all the guys he wanted to keep. So that's obviously the model. But MAXX Crosby, to me, is the perfect player at the perfect time, at a very nice contract, at a position of need, both now and in the future. He played at Eastern Michigan. He's familiar with the area. You'll hear he's from here. I think he's from Texas, but obviously he spent time here. He's been on the record saying if he could play for any other team, it would be the Lions. He's in a dumpster fire of a situation in Las Vegas. They're not winning anything. Tom Brady loves the Lions. Do us a favor as a new minority owner. Tell them, get what you can get. Send him to the D and let him do what he does, which is MAXX Crosby. The reason he's so perfect and why everyone wants this to happen, he has a relentless motor. He never stops. He also always gets the quarterback. Watch any Raiders game if you have to. I hope you don't have to, but if you want to do a little tape on this player, every play he's affecting the quarterback. He's in the backfield. He's making plays. He also is an agitator, which Detroit loves. He talks smack. He does things at or after the whistle, but it doesn't come in the face of his hustle, his ability to play the game of football, his love for football, his love for his teammates, and just being a great guy on and off the field. So when you can talk smack and agitate and still be a great guy and not an annoying idiot, that's just an extra bonus. That's like bad boy stuff that we crave here in Detroit, which are those guys that'll rough you up, get under your skin, but on and off the field, you love them as people and as players. MAXX Crosby fits all those. I mentioned his contract. Maxx Crosby is signed for like 3 more this year and 2 more years at least. At what in today's game is a relatively good number. It's somewhere in the 20 to 25 million-ish range. Brad Holmes has been saving money for years here. We're just waiting for a rainy day. Just, I like to have money in case. Well, I don't know, in case your top pass rusher and the best player on your team and the heartbeat of the team goes down, yeah, it might be a good time to use some of that money rather than saving it for some 6th, offensive tackle that you always want to grab, or getting another corner, or waiting until 2 years from now when you have to pay the next batch of studs that he's drafted on this team. So right now is the perfect time. You have money available both now and in the future. Normally I would, and I do say in general, you don't just throw away draft picks, but if you're throwing picks at the Raiders to get Maxx Crosby, you're not throwing away anything. You're getting a foundational piece, a guy that can be here for 3, 4, 5 seasons, a guy that immediately puts us in Super Bowl favorite status, and that's without Aiden Hutchinson. Can you imagine next year when we could do this?
Unleash Hutch.
And while we're playing his music, you got Maxx Crosby coming from the other side. Number 98, number 97 doing their thing. Dan Campbell already told you that he wants to unleash Hutch.
Unleash Hutch. I'm ready to unleash Hutch.
How about unleashing Hutch and MAXX? Get double X to DET ASAP. This has to happen for so many freaking reasons. And I'm not trying to jeopardize our future or give away everything and anything, but yes, I'm fully bought into the notion of make them a deal they can't refuse. The NFL always gives you this boola about, he's untradeable, we don't want to trade him, it's 3 first-rounders. That's never the case, and that's not the case here. It started out as that a week or 2 ago. Now it's down to Maxx Crosby retweeting people or putting out Insta, whatever he's doing, with people talking about Eastern Michigan, and you should come back here and win a championship. He's sharing those messages with his people, with his followers, with his reach, with his platform, whatever you want to call it. That's not a coincidence. Have you seen a couple quotes where he said, I want to win now, I'm ready to win now? Well, you ain't going to do that in Las Vegas, buddy. So if you want to win now, I know a place that you can do that, and it's called Detroit. So, the contract, the player, the need, both now and next year and the year after is perfect. You've got a bunch of corners, you got a bunch of linebackers, you got a bunch of other D linemen. You need edge. You need this football player. And here's the thing, Maxx Crosby, I don't know if you're one of the millions and millions, but if you somehow listen to this, you need Detroit. You need the Lions. You already, your checks are gonna cash regardless. I get it that you love the black and silver. I understand most players just would rather stay where they're at. He's got loyalty. That's respectable. But you're going to get the same money. You're going to play with great dudes. You're going to get coached by a man like Dan freaking Campbell. You're going to fit right in. They're going to make you king of the castle from day one. And you're going to come here and ball with your new brothers in Detroit with the Lions. Let's make this happen, Brad Holmes. You got 2 weeks. I'm talking pony up picks. I'm talking work those phones. Make them tell you no. When they tell you no, ask again. And ask again until they say yes. If this was just some ho-hum player, again, would I love Myles Garrett? Sure. Not as much as I like Maxx Crosby. Would I like, Hendrickson from Cincy? Sure, he'd be a great player. They're familiar, get him at cheaper value. But if I got my top choice, Maxx Crosby, because of his motor, who he is as a person, as a player, his contract being under for 2-3 years, not a rental. You don't have to re-pony up to the new market value. You get him at what he's at. And if you come here and you ball, we're more than happy to pay you again for a couple more years and really make this thing worth your while. So It just makes so much sense. And like I said, you trade for this guy, he immediately replaces Hutch. That's an even Steven flip in my book. And then we just double dipped at defensive end for next year. We don't need a pick. We got everybody coming back, all our core guys. There's really no big re-signings that I can think of off the top of my head. Just mid-tier or young cats that we could probably either keep or let walk without a big deal. And it's like, you roll into next year with just free agency, a couple later picks, which Brad Holmes is going to nail like always. And MAXX Crosby, Hutch, Gibbs, Monty signed, Penne's under contract. You got your quarterback. Like, this is the final piece, and you can get it right now. Get it now. Take a run this year, because you've heard me on the pod the last couple weeks say, I mean, I'm still excited, but without a MAXX Crosby, without a big addition, it's going to be a lot harder to get to the promised land where they want to get. Sure, you'll still make a run. You still have a puncher's chance. You still have a good chance. You got a player like MAXX XX Crosby. We're the favorites this year, and then we're double dip the favorites next year. Mark it. I mean, sign it up. I mean, hashtag choppy likey over the place.
Hashtag choppy likey.
I mean, woo wee, let's go. Woo-wee! Like, I mean, oh baby.
Oh baby.
Exactly. So, Max, if you hear this, anyone, if you hear this, I know there's the detractors out there that will tell you every reason why. I'm here pleading with Brad Holmes, telling you, get it done, make it happen. Don't take no for an answer. Wait till they say yes. Sign this man up. Get him here on the first thing smoking. Put him in the Lions jersey. Let him eat. Let him hunt. And let's go win a Super Bowl this year, next year, the year after. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal. That's the mission. All right. So I got that out there. Titans preview. The Tennessee Titans. The Titans down there in Tennessee that play football. That's my preview. Oh, wait, no. I really did want to hit on all the good Titans players, both offensively and defensively. They don't have any. This is they suck. They're like the Raiders. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. I mean, if you don't believe me, tell them, Chuck.
That's terrible.
They're terrible. I know.
That's terrible.
This is a terrible football team. They're coming in the Lions Den. We're 5-1. We are absolutely going to obliterate this team on every level, in every way. I mean, I actually was trying to write down players that are good. I came up with one player off the top of my head that's a very good player that I like, his game, his mentality, and what he's done in the National Football League, and that's my boy Jeffrey Simmons, the big nasty defensive tackle. Other than that, it's like, who do they have? They have like no big name D-line players. They got no corners that I could speak of. I couldn't name, the only linebacker is the cat they got from LA, the Rams, that they just traded for. He's decent, Safeties are nobody I can write home about. Offensively, what do you got? You got Rudolph, the red-nosed quarterback, or you got Mr. Mayo, Will Levis out there drinking mayo, eating mayo, putting mayo in coffee. I mean, doing mayo cologne commercials. I mean, I don't know what this guy has with mayo, but all I know is a pansy because I watched a couple weeks ago and he barely rolled out of bounds on the side of his shoulder and he tapped out of the game. And what's he been out multiple weeks? And the Titans are just like, don't even come back. We'll just play this Rudolph guy. We don't even care at this point. That's basically what they said. So, whether it's Mr. Mayo or Rudolph the red-nosed quarterback, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're both terrible. I'm not gonna play the drop again, but you guys know what it is. Like, Will Levis talks a big game. He spends a lot of time in the weight room. He's not a very good football player. He was pretty good in college and kind of fun to watch. But you look around this team and you're like, old man DeAndre Hopkins. Everyone was like, oh, Calvin Ridley might be a sleeper this year in fantasy. What's he done? A whole bunch of nothing. He's like the guy that I never want to draft, yet a couple times I had to. And what's he done? Was he had maybe 10 catches for the whole season or something like that? Like, he's been absolutely terrible too. You know, I've stuck up for Tony Pollard for years and years with me and my boy Chuck the Magazine, where Chuck's like, oh, Zeke Elliott's still good. I'm like, Chuck, Zeke was washed like 5 years ago. He can't run. He can't block. He's fat. And I'm like, Tony Pollard's going to be a stud. And then Tony Pollard becomes an all-pro that year. Then he has a little bit of a dip. Chuck hits me back up. Oh, I thought Tony Pollard was good. He was like, he was all-purpose everything. Great player for your sorry-ass Cowboys. And they end up dealing him. He has a couple flashes, a couple cups of coffee, but he's proven to be what he is. Who else? They have no tight ends that I know of. They have a very marginal offensive line. They've actually put resources into the offensive line. They still are terrible. So, I mean, again, I hate to come on this show and like make fun of the Vikings and then, you know, say how we're just going to blow them out. I told you we're going to blow out the Cowboys. Now I'm telling you how terrible the Tennessee Titans are, but they're just an awful football team. I mean, they have a couple offensive line pieces, my boy Jeffrey Simmons, and a couple other things that are decent, and that's it. And they're coming into our house, and I mean, our O and our D are both just going to dominate. I see the Titans being lucky to get double-digit points. I see us, like, I'd love to put another 40 burger up, but that's just becoming an old gimmick here on the show, so I want to do it so badly, but I can't just because that usually doesn't happen in the National Football League. Usually the refs or, you know, the coaches actually keep the score down not to embarrass these teams, but you know, I could do the old thing, or, oh, it's going to be a tough football game, and both teams are going to try hard, and, you know, all games are close, but, I mean, this isn't going to be close. I'm looking at my score prediction now, and I don't even like it. I took like 2 seconds, and I gracefully wrote down 31-17 for the Lions. Like, why did I give the Titans 17? Again, 7 at best. Maybe they get to 10 or 13 on a good day. I don't know how I have them getting me a robust 17. You know, Ben Genius is feeling froggy. I don't see how we're going to only get 31 on this football team. They have a wimpy head coach, too. Even Mike Vrabel back in the day, I at least respected his grit, his griminess, and his red-assness. Their new coach thinks he's some offensive genius when really he's just a wimp coach from the Cincinnati, which is has a wimp head coach and came from a wimpy organization out there. You know, where is he with? The Rams? Oh, yeah, they're real tough. So it's like, you know, they're going to come in here and think they're going to, like, do a couple things offensively or get a couple lucky plays on defense to keep this close. No. Like, if I had to be robust with my prediction, it'd be more like, you know, 42 for the Lions and, like, again, I hate to be totally disrespectful, but could you see the Lions winning this 42-10? I could. I really could. But like I said, I'm being conservative because I think they'll get up early, they'll stay up, and then they'll just put in my boy H2O and a couple guys that just stopped shining shoes at the bowling alley and came to play a football game, and we'll just ride off this nice W and get to 6-1. That's what I see happening. So everybody, I went long in the first segment. I think I'm around 20 minutes here. I had a lot of fun. I did some gimmicks. I do it for the millions and millions. I served up some Kool-Aid, handed out some cornbread, and yeah, that's what I got. So I'll catch you next time right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. I'm out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in.